environmental policy on single-use plastic has stalled since the rise of the pandemic. A city volunteer couple in Xiamen Fishing Village is finding new meanings in life through recycling. Welcome to That Headlines. I'm Jenny Lee. Thank you for joining us. Looking back on 2020's environmental issues, there were policies enacted to protect the environment, but the efforts were hindered by the pandemic. With the threat of COVID-19, the use of single-use plastics has surged, worsening the pollution.
This azure ocean has many fish swimming freely, but coral reefs lose their color.
The water temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. As coral bleaching is still a serious condition, it's still bleached down to 10 meters.
Analysis of the surface temperature in southern Taiwan seawater every year results in this thick black line. It reached its highest point in June and July, exceeding 31 degrees Celsius. Therefore, Greenpeace received a notice from the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration that coral bleaching crisis has been upgraded to the highest alert level 2, representing the possibility of severe bleaching and death. Regrettably, sea turtles have also been threatened. Some diving instructors have seen sea turtles caught in drift nets, with many dying. There are also Marine Patrol personnel who discovered 7 dead in only one day. According to statistics from the Ocean Conservation Administration, of 42 sea turtles' digestive tracts, which were examined in the first 3 quarters of this year, as many as 39 had marine waste, of which 70% were plastic products and 14% were styrofoam. To improve the environment, starting from volume reduction of plastics, the EPA launched a new policy in January, with disposable tableware banned at department stores and shopping malls.
We estimate that we can reduce 30 million pieces of disposable tableware a year.
If you still use disposable tableware, then we can fine you up to $180.
While all these plans were great to be enacted, the pandemic disrupted everything.
Someone else has used it, and I don't know if it is thoroughly cleaned or not.
We restrict the industry to use disposable paper, tableware temporarily in 90 days.
As a result, paper accounted for 50% of the total amount of disposable tableware. For paper containers from January to October, more than 137,000 tons were recycled, which is 1.5 times more than that of the whole last year. Also, mask usage also went up drastically, and for 8 months this year, some 2.9 billion pieces were used, which is twice the average of the past year. This is not the only cost by the anti-epidemic prevention. This year, the greenhouse gas emission should have been 2% less than the benchmark target in 2005, yet this expectation was not met.
Last year, the emission volume should have reached a 2005 emission benchmark. The probability of reaching a reduction of 1% this year should be very high. We need to observe the original target of reaching a reduction of 2%.
Accelerating carbon reduction and locking in renewable energy has led to some reduction of greenhouse gases. However, large-scale development of solar energy and site selection for such farms led to public controversy. After a turbulent 2020, we know that we must continue to work hard to give the Earth a chance to breathe and heal itself.
At the end of the year, Sanxia Recycling and Education Station held a tea party to thank the recycling volunteers for their dedication over the past year. The volunteers shared the joy and gains of doing recycling. Take a look.
Stir-frying the local handmade dishes in a big pot. Volunteers at Sanxia Recycling and Education Station are busy cooking early in the morning in order to thank recycling volunteers for their hard work.
Every day, the recycling volunteers do whatever they can diligently and complete it quickly. So today, we specially came to cook for them. Actually, we should thank them every day.
The volunteer doing recycling for the longest time has done it for more than 20 years. And there are volunteers who fall in love with it once started.
The sense of existence is the most important thing that I've gained in the past few years. And I also have the so-called happiness of giving.
I'm working as a cleaner in the building. I'm really sad to see those items which are still in good condition, yet they're discarded.
Hong Yongchun, who has been suffering from depression for a long time, found the right prescription here.
If I come here to do recycling, then I go home at night, I can sleep well. Otherwise, I couldn't sleep in the past, I had to take medicine.
The more you do, the more you gain. Not only the purified earth can be seen, but also the beauty of the purified soul.
To show appreciation to the recycling volunteers for their hard work over the past year,慈济volunteers in Yonghe District hosted a year-end blessing ceremony in Shuanghe Jingsi Hall.
At the year-end blessing ceremony for the recycling volunteers in Yonghe District, more than 300 volunteers gathered in Shuanghe Jingsi Hall with a safe social distance.
Seizing this opportunity to express our gratefulness to the recycling volunteers for their dedication in the past year. Everyone gives with pleasure no matter how the weather is. All they care is the recycling station.
Although they didn't do recycling on this day, it's still necessary to exercise their bodies. By doing it, they also felt warm.
My mother is 84 years old already, yet her mind and body are still in very good condition. So we're very blessed that my mother is so healthy. We don't need to worry about her and can also walk the Bodhisattva path together.
In order to encourage the recycling volunteers to go meatless, a nutritionist was invited to talk about how to eat healthily.
We have to eat high-quality proteins. What is high-quality proteins? There are two, the soy protein and the wheat protein.
On behalf of the master, volunteers presented gifts to the recycling volunteers, hoping that everyone will continue to do their best to protect the earth in the coming year.
A second-hand assistive device storage is made possible by Tzu Chi volunteer Zhen Meiyuan, who lent out a location that used to be a kindergarten. This platform has enabled volunteer Zhen Liwen to devote himself to the families in need. Take a look.
To care for the elderly and the sick, Tzu Chi volunteers send the 10 families necessities every month for the past 8 months.
Every month I will prepare 1 month of diapers and send them over. At least it can save the cost of diapers.
With your assistance, I can change his diapers a few more times. Of course, it's much better. I'm so moved that I keep shedding tears.
The 80-year-old couple, who have been taking care of their eldest son suffering from a brain tumor for 5 years, are physically and mentally exhausted, and their financial status began to suffer too. Tzu Chi volunteer Zhen Liwen, as long as he is notified that someone donates care supplies, he will be happy.
I'm really happy to receive the wet towels, which are very important to many people. It's so comfortable to wipe the body with wet towels. It just feels different.
Second-hand assistive devices such as electric hospital beds, wheelchairs, and all kinds of daily necessities are classified and placed in order. Zhen Meiyuan has lent out a kindergarten that has suspended operations.
Sometimes when we paid a home visit and learned that a wheelchair or something is needed, we had to find it at the Bali recycling station. It just happened that a platform for assistive devices is needed to be established. As my kindergarten is suspended here, if I lend it out, our volunteers do not need to travel so far to Bali. As Zhen Liwen dedicated himself to assistive devices, we must support him.
This place of education has turned into a warehouse of assistive devices in Shizi, offering loving supplies for suffering families.
In a harbor in Xiamen, Fujian, there's an elderly couple who had made a living by fishing when they were young. Now they dedicate themselves to protecting the environment and have let go of their past greed. Let's meet this hardworking couple.
The old couple in their 70s recall their past job fishing. They shake their heads as they're unwilling to recall the days when husband went fishing and wife value money.
People joked and said that they tied 48 knots on a string of money. I dispatched 40-some soldiers to get my money. After I joined Tzu Chi, I learned that Tzu Chi was started with people donating 5 cents in a bamboo can every day. I brought home a bamboo can that had some writing on it. What a coincidence. The words say, only by giving can one gain.
Wife Chen Xianjiao let go of her greed and started to do recycling to accumulate blessings. She set up a recycling point in front of her building. She has to go up and down 6 floors.
Sometimes while I'm eating, I would receive a phone call inviting me to go collect recyclables. Then I would go. For some people, we go collect recyclables 2 days a week, so the items would not take up space. If I did not go collect the recyclables, they would take up space or be taken by someone else. That would be a waste. As I do recycling, my illness would recover. This is a test. The more recycling I do, the healthier I become. The master has taught us not to do 2 things. What are they? Do not compare and pick and choose. When I was at home, I compared and picked and chose, so I had a harsh life.
Their harsh life has improved. In the past, they used fishing net, but now they use recycling bags. In the past, they rode on boats to go fishing, and now they collect recyclables along the roads. The couple even does recycling at night. As Tapu Market is about to close, Chen goes to collect recyclables.
When typhoon struck, I had to rush here to cover the recyclables. As I covered them, the strong wind would blow them. They would be blown away and I would need to cover them with boards. There is no typhoon today. It is just raining. I feel happy.
The old couple has been doing recycling for more than 10 years, and they have inspired many retired couples.
If I was recycling to make money for myself, I would not do it even if you pay me $10 a day.
While sleeping, if I hear people throwing away recyclables, I would get up to collect them.
The couple who had made a living by fishing has dedicated themselves to recycling and found a new meaning in life.
In China, many sick children travel to Beijing from other cities to seek medical treatment. Beijing慈济volunteers have been caring for patients at Yearend Hospital. At the end of the year, the volunteers held a special gathering for young patients to express their gratitude to their families.
Tzu Chi volunteers have comforted us, easing our anxious minds, so we can receive this treatment in this unfamiliar city without worries.
This group of children are mostly patients at Beijing Yearend Hospital. They have left home to come to Beijing to seek medical treatment. Tzu Chi volunteers who have cared for them for 3 years held a year-end gratitude gathering so everyone can celebrate and learn to make Japanese desserts.
I think they are not different from normal children. We bring them positive energy and optimism. When we treat them normally, it is a big encouragement for them.
Having a sick child at home, their families who have to care for them work hard. The children serve tea to their mothers to express their gratitude.
We'll be safe and healthy in the future. May my child recover soon. Keep going.
I'm grateful to my mother for caring for me over the years. He has aged. I hope my mother can stay strong. I also hope everyone will be happy. Everyone is lucky.
My child is getting better. We cannot cry anymore. We need to smile as time goes on.
Although the families do not know each other in this unfamiliar city, volunteers have invited them to join the big Tzu Chi family. They cannot rely on the volunteers' care as they seek medical treatment.
Tzu Chi volunteers went to Choulou town in Henan, China to send love before the end of the year. Volunteers set off early in the morning, getting ready to give rice to villagers.
Volunteers set off at night just to welcome villagers at dawn. Rice is being delivered and the supplies are put in place. Tzu Chi volunteers' hard work before the new year is for the sake of others' warmth.
You're very impressed. You started cooking porridge at 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday. hosting this charitable event for impoverished residents in the cold.
To be honest, we got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to arrange a lot of things, but I felt very warm in my heart. When I saw the kindness in the villagers' eyes and their facial expression, I felt warm in my heart.
In the beginning, local government leaders knew nothing about us, but our volunteers happened to have a good relationship with them. There's a patient named Gao Zhanlong who suffered a type of arthritis called AS. He couldn't straighten his back for 20 years. We are very fortunate to help him do bone replacement surgery, allowing him to return to a healthy life. After we have gained so much trust with the locals, this event is particularly successful. We have gained strong support from local leaders.
Both visible and invisible care are delivered to the villagers. Here it is cold, yet still warm.
In Singapore, Tzu youth volunteers felt that many care recipient families might not have the resources to teach their own children during distance learning. Starting in May, these young people began online learning tutoring for many children. Lately, the volunteers have visited these children in need.
Today, I'm kind of nervous. Happy also because I get to see all my mentors in person.
After Singapore widened their pandemic safety measures, Tzu who had only previously seen their tutoring students online, could visit one another.
After meeting them, I feel like we know each other a little bit more. Through these interactions, we can learn about their personality more. I've learned this student is a positive and active student.
From virtual to in-person, the thoughtfulness continues.
She improved a lot. Can see that she brings a good marks. Today is the first day that I see the volunteer, the teachers, I can see the full of love. It's very touched how they educate Alicia. They did a good job.
These visits have reminded Chua Yongle of his initial aspiration as an educator and helped him remain steadfast on this path.
Alicia's grandmother shared with us that she feels that Alicia has a lot of potential, but she's missing the resources to explore that. This reminded me of my aspiration of why I wanted to be a teacher. I want to educate my students to use their potential to succeed in life. She has reminded me why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
These tutoring sessions began in May and have helped these disadvantaged students get the most out of their education during this special time.
Teenagers inhaling laughing gas has become an emerging hazard in countries all over the world, and Taiwan is no exception. Before October 2020, there were no laws regulating the use of laughing gas, and young people's misuse of laughing gas is a growing concern for the society.
You can choose from different styles of cylinders. Previously, buying laughing gas in Taiwan was as simple as buying clothes.
Most of it are in the black market. About 99.9% is industrial laughing gas, because industrial laughing gas is very cheap and they can earn a lot of profits.
Before the announcement of the amendment, there was a window of time when there is no punishment for sales of laughing gas, so they dared to openly sell it.
Before the government amended the law, there were no penalties for those who sold laughing gas privately. Even if they were caught by the police, only users could be detained for less than 3 days under the Social Order Maintenance Act for a fine of $600, though the deterrent effect was not great.
Trafficking laughing gas is not like other drugs. One may think that the police would rather bust drugs to gain better performance results.
There's an urgent need to prevent the abuse of nitrous oxide because domestic users continue to rise, with groups like high school students, college students, and office workers becoming involved. The online black market purchase of a kilogram of nitrous oxide costs just $15. Like this 2.6 kilogram bottle of nitrous oxide in the hands of this reporter costs just $30 to $60. It is very cheap compared with emerging drugs like ecstasy, ketamine, and amphetamines.
突袭临检，包厢内青少年一脸茫然，地上放了一只大型钢瓶，旁边还有吸食管跟气球。原来这些人在吸笑气。
The chance for young people being exposed to nitrous oxide and then exposed to drugs is indeed quite high.
A study found that 55% of people who use laughing gas also use ketamine, amphetamine, and ecstasy, and other designer drugs.
Taking laughing gas creates a drug reaction, and you can't control your emotions and moral behavior.
这群年龄平均不到18岁的国中生邀约到同学家中，疑似在房间内吸食装有笑气的气球。一群人相当害，把整个过程抛上网络，恐怖景象让许多网友看傻了眼。
笑气啊，气球啊
，laughing gas, balloons, numbness. These similar keywords will be recorded and forwarded to the NCC.
那转给NCC。
From August 2019 to September 2020, the NCC deleted 651 online laughing gas advertisements.
The internet creates a sort of imitation effect, as this behavior should be prevented.
For every 1,000 teenagers, 24 have taken laughing gas, which is much more prevalent than the use of ketamine, amphetamine, and ecstasy.
In fact, there are actually a lot of adult neurology outpatients, as this is really a social phenomenon.
长发女子脸书开直播，一边放着电音，一边疑似吸取笑气。
In 2018, there are 260,000 kilograms of laughing gas in Taiwan, which eventually disappeared into the market. If it is divided into 4-kilogram cylinders, it is equivalent to 65,000 nitrous oxide cylinders, which are inhaled by local teenagers, which is no small matter.
大概有2%。
In the market, we know where 98% of the gases are, and only 2% of them are unclear.
Laughing gas is bottled and then sold, as the government doesn't have many regulations to control it, as it is held back by old laws.
笑气，笑气，在路上直接买。
At present, no country in the world classifies laughing gas as a drug because this low-cost gas, which is used in large quantities in industry, will inevitably cause an economic shock once it is highly regulated.
警察在这里，然后到处都在卖笑气。警察面前直接吸。
So governments have come up with another method, which is to add sulfur dioxide to create an odor in future laughing gas products.
In principle, they must all add this odor. With this odor, laughing gas will be quite smelly and will prevent people from using it.
In this tug of war involving laughing gas, it is vital for parents to care for their children more, paying more attention to abnormal behaviors of young people so as to help stop this dangerous activity. Hopefully, through education and communication, this dangerous poison can be hidden from more of our nation's children.
Since 2016,慈济volunteers have been actively promoting the importance of vegetarianism at Hualien Prison with positive results. We'll leave you with the footage, wishing everyone a happy new year. See you next time.